Introduction. Why is visceral fat after the age of 60 so dangerous? If you are over 60 and you notice that your abdomen feels softer, your waistline is larger, and your clothes feel tighter, even though your body weight has not increased very much, there is a good chance that this is not just ordinary extra fat. Inside the abdominal cavity, surrounding the heart, liver, intestines, and other organs, there is a special type of fat called visceral fat. Many studies from Harvard, Mayo Clinic, and other major medical centers show that visceral fat is far more dangerous than the soft layer of fat under the skin. It continuously releases inflammatory substances and harmful hormones, which increase the risk of cardiovascular disease and stroke, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, dementia, and many other chronic conditions. Even when you look not very overweight from the outside, a large waistline is still a warning sign that there is too much visceral fat. The good news is that visceral fat is very sensitive to the right signals. With just a few habit changes, even if your body weight doesn't change very much, you can still lower blood pressure, improve blood sugar, reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke. You do not need to return to the body shape you had at 30. Simply reducing some of the deep fat inside the abdomen can change your health dramatically. In this talk, I will share 5 science-based strategies that are especially effective for people over 60. Rearranging your protein intake during the day so that your muscles become fat-burning furnaces. Using gentle temperature changes to activate brown fat, the body's natural internal heater. Eating within a daily golden time window that matches your body's biological clock. Increasing soluble fiber and prebiotics so that your intestines become a center for fat burning. Using your breath to influence the vagus nerve, lower cortisol, and reduce the stress-related hormone that enlarges the abdomen. You should view this as educational information. If you are taking medications or have chronic conditions, please consult your physician before changing your diet or exercise routine. Protein timing, turning muscles into fat-burning furnaces. Many people after the age of 60 have heard the phrase "you need to eat enough protein," but the more important part is this. It is not only how much protein you eat, but when you eat it and how you distribute it throughout the day. After 60, the muscles become more stubborn in their response to protein. This is called anabolic resistance. When you were younger, a small amount of protein would stimulate the muscles very well, but now your muscles need a stronger signal. Organizations that research aging recommend that older adults eat about 1 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. More importantly, that amount should be divided evenly into 3 main meals, with about 25 to 30 grams of protein at each meal. Why does this help reduce visceral fat? Every kilogram of muscle is a small factory that burns calories, even when you are just sitting and reading. Fat, especially visceral fat, mainly has the task of storing energy. When you preserve muscle mass, you increase the number of calories your body burns throughout the day, and it becomes easier for the body to draw energy from visceral fat. Studies show that older adults who reach the recommended protein intake and distribute it evenly during the day often have smaller waistlines and less visceral fat, even when their body weight is not very different. Morning, the opening bell of metabolism. A common pattern for many people is morning, very little food, a slice of bread, some jam, a cup of coffee with cream. Noon, a light meal. Evening, finally, a large portion of meat and fish. The total amount of protein during the day may be barely adequate, but too much of it is concentrated in the evening when the body is preparing for rest and metabolism slows down. Meanwhile, the morning is the time when the body has just gone through an overnight fast. Cortisol, the stress hormone, is naturally high. If there is no protein and no gentle movement in the morning, this hormone easily promotes fat storage in the abdominal area. A simple adjustment. Try to eat 25 to 30 grams of protein within 1 hour after waking up. Examples of breakfast: 2 to 3 eggs plus some fresh cheese or Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt plus 1 scoop of protein powder and a few berries. A smoothie with 1 scoop of protein powder, 1 handful of leafy greens, half a banana, and 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed. Lunch and dinner: a palm-sized portion of fish, such as salmon, mackerel, tilapia, snakehead fish, and so on. Or lean chicken, lean pork, lean beef. Or beans, lentils, chickpeas, black beans, tofu, tempeh, quinoa. With just 3 strong protein signals each day, your body has what it needs to maintain muscle and raise your basal energy expenditure. A few small tips to keep it going. cook once, eat many times. On the weekend, boil a dozen eggs, cook a pot of beans, roast several chicken breasts, and keep them in the refrigerator. Protein-rich foods are then always ready. Build your plate in this order. Protein: plenty of colorful vegetables and fruits, whole grain carbohydrates such as brown rice, potatoes, whole grain bread. Kidney disease caution. If you have impaired kidney function, you need to ask your doctor before increasing protein intake. Temperature strategy: waking up brown fat, the natural fat-burning system. Inside the body, in addition to white fat that stores energy, there is brown fat. Brown fat is rich in mitochondria and acts like tiny heaters. When activated, brown fat burns calories to create heat, and it prefers to use white fat, including visceral fat. Older adults still have brown fat, but it is less active. The interesting thing is that brown fat can be awakened by gentle changes in temperature. There is no need for ice baths or anything extreme. The cool evening method. An easy and well-researched method is: lower the room temperature to about 19 degrees Celsius, 66 degrees Fahrenheit, for 1 to 2 hours in the evening. Wear light but comfortable clothing and do not allow yourself to shiver. When you feel just slightly cool, the body sends out a signal. We need warmth. Activate brown fat. At that point, brown fat becomes more active. It burns more white fat and more visceral fat. Body temperature drops gently, in line with your natural circadian rhythm, which makes it easier to fall asleep. Many older adults who practice this report that after 1 week they sleep more deeply, feel less abdominal tightness and less bloating. The 20 to 30 second cool water shower. If it is difficult to change the room temperature, you can use the cool finish shower. Take a warm shower as usual. At the end, turn the water to cooler than usual. It does not need to be icy cold. Stand under the cool water for 20 to 30 seconds and focus on steady breathing. Awakens brown fat, increases blood circulation, reduces evening cravings for many people, creates a refreshing, clear-headed feeling. If it feels too cold, you can start with 10 seconds and gradually increase. Drinking cool water regularly during the day. Another simple tip: every 2 to 3 hours, drink 1 glass of cool water. The body must warm the water to core temperature, which uses a little energy. Combined with the other strategies, this provides a small but meaningful boost to your metabolism. Increase gradually, do not rush. People over 60 should not suddenly take long cold showers or stay in very cold environments. You can follow this gradual approach. Week 1. 10 to 15 minutes in a cool room, or 10 seconds of cool water at the end of your shower. Week 2. 30 to 45 minutes in a cool room, or 20 seconds of cool water. Week 3. 60 to 90 minutes in a cool room, plus 20 to 30 seconds of cool water at the end of your shower. Principle: no shivering and no discomfort, only a mild feeling of coolness. If you have uncontrolled high blood pressure or severe heart disease, you should consult your doctor first. Eating window strategy: eating in line with your body clock. Beyond what you eat. The time when you eat also determines whether your body burns fat or stores fat. After the age of 60, insulin becomes less effective at pushing sugar into cells. Nighttime digestion slows. Sleep becomes more fragile, and the stomach can feel uncomfortably full. If you eat late, especially if you eat a heavy meal and then go to bed, blood sugar will spike more easily, insulin will rise, and the body will convert more energy into visceral fat. An 8 to 10 hour eating window. A simple and effective approach is: eat all of your food within 8 to 10 hours during the day, and allow the body to rest without food for the remaining 14 to 16 hours, including sleep. For example, first meal around 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning. Last meal around 5 to 7 o'clock in the evening. After that time, only drink water, herbal tea, or black coffee without sugar or milk. When no food is taken in, your body will lower insulin, which unlocks the storage room and allows fat to be released and burned. Activate cellular self-cleaning, giving the liver, pancreas, and intestines a chance to rest. Reduce inflammation in the gut, so the abdomen feels lighter and less bloated. Increase the production of growth hormone during sleep, which supports breaking down fat around the abdomen. A 4-week transition plan for beginners. Week 1. Eat between 8 in the morning and 8 in the evening. 12 hours. Week 2. Eat between 9 in the morning and 8 in the evening, or between 8 in the morning and 7 in the evening, 11 hours. Week 3. Eat between 9 in the morning and 7 in the evening, 10 hours. From week 4 onward, if you feel well, you can shorten the window to 9 in the morning until 6 in the evening. 9 hours. You do not need to make the schedule extremely strict. The important point is not eating late near bedtime. What is allowed during the fasting period? Plain water, herbal tea or green tea, black coffee without sugar or milk, unsweetened electrolyte water. Anything that contains calories, such as milk, fruit juice, and sweets, will interrupt the rest effect. What should you eat during the eating window? Combine this strategy with the others. 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal. Many vegetables and low-sugar fruits. Healthy fats, such as olive oil, fatty fish, avocado, nuts and seeds. Limit refined white carbohydrates in the late afternoon and evening, such as white bread, white rice, and regular pasta. Common mistakes. Skipping breakfast but eating late at night. Snacking continuously between meals. Eating a very large meal immediately before going to bed. Soluble fiber and prebiotic strategy, letting the gut help burn fat in your intestines. There are trillions of bacteria. Some help reduce fat, while others promote fat storage, especially abdominal fat. After 60, the diversity of gut bacteria decreases. Bad bacteria more easily dominate. Low-grade inflammation in the intestines increases. This makes it difficult to reduce visceral fat even when you do not eat very much. Soluble fiber and prebiotics are the food for beneficial bacteria. When they are fed properly, they produce a very important short-chain fatty acid called butyrate. Butyrate reduces inflammation in the intestines, improves insulin sensitivity, helps the body shift from fat storage mode to fat burning mode. Sources of soluble fiber that are good for people over 60. Beans, lentils, peas, chickpeas, and similar foods. 1 bowl of cooked beans per day helps stabilize blood sugar and increase satiety. Rolled oats or steel-cut oats. These are rich in beta-glucan, which lowers cholesterol and nourishes beneficial bacteria. Ground flaxseed 1 to 2 tablespoons per day provides soluble fiber, omega-3 fatty acids, and support for hormones. Konjac root, rucomanin. Found in shirataki noodles or in powder form. It absorbs water strongly, forms a gel, slows carbohydrate absorption, and reduces appetite. Timing of intake, more important than quantity. The principle is to use soluble fiber before main meals that contain carbohydrates and protein. 30 minutes before lunch, drink 1 glass of water with 2 to 3 grams of glucomannan if you use it. In the morning, mix 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed into your oats or yogurt. In the evening, eat a bowl of beans, lentils, or vegetables rich in soluble fiber, such as carrots, onions, and sweet potatoes. When you do this, the fiber will create a gentle gel layer in the intestines, slow the absorption of sugar, lower the insulin peak, give beneficial bacteria time to feed and produce butyrate, increasing prebiotics, fertilizer for good bacteria. Prebiotics are special types of fiber that the human body does not digest, but good bacteria love them. Foods rich in prebiotics include Jerusalem, artichokes, garlic, onions, leeks asparagus, moderately ripe bananas, several other vegetables and roots. Only 1 to 2 small servings per day are enough to strengthen the microbiome. Benefits you can observe. When soluble fiber and prebiotics are sufficient, many people over 60 notice a flatter abdomen, less bloating and distension, regular bowel movements with softer stool, reduced cravings for sweets, better sleep, more stable daytime energy. Notes: increasing fiber too quickly can cause bloating and discomfort. Increase gradually and drink plenty of water. Divide fiber into several portions throughout the day instead of concentrating it in one meal. Breathing and vagus nerve strategy, turning off the stress switch. Many people gain abdominal fat during periods of 5. Prolonged stress, caring for ill family members, financial or health crisis. The reason is cortisol, the hormone that is released during stress. Cortisol particularly likes to store fat in the abdominal area around the internal organs. Fortunately, we have a natural switch to lower cortisol, the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve runs from the brain down through the face, heart, lungs, diaphragm, and digestive system. When it is activated, it shifts the body into a state in which heart rate slows, digestion improves, inflammation decreases. The body stops sending strong signals to store fat. The simplest, safest, and most powerful way to activate the vagus nerve is slow, deep, controlled breathing. You can practice as follows. Sit or lie comfortably with your back straight. Place one hand on your chest and one hand on your abdomen. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, allowing the abdomen to rise while the chest remains almost motionless. Gently hold your breath for 7 seconds. Exhale through your mouth slowly for 8 seconds, feeling the abdomen fall. Repeat for 10 to 15 minutes. The principle is abdominal breathing, not chest breathing. Shallow chest breathing means the body interprets that it is under stress. Deep abdominal breathing means the body understands that it is safe, and the vagus nerve is soothed and activated. When the vagus nerve is strongly active, cortisol decreases, blood pressure and heart rate fall. Digestion improves, sleep becomes deeper. Abdominal fat storage gradually decreases. Important times to practice. There are 2 especially effective periods. Morning after waking up. This is when cortisol is naturally high. Practicing bon betham breathing for 10 to 15 minutes helps. Lower the cortisol peak, reduce early morning anxiety. Set up a more favorable metabolic rhythm for the day afternoon between 3 and 5 o'clock. This is when energy and mood often dip and cravings for sweets can appear. Breathing for 10 minutes helps. Reduce emotional eating. Stabilize blood sugar. Prepare a calm mental state for the evening. If you have difficulty sleeping, you can add 2 to 4 minutes of breathing before turning off the lights. Some common questions. Will I feel dizzy? If you breathe gently and do not try to inhale too deeply, most people will not feel dizzy. If you feel slightly lightheaded, reduce the pattern to 4-4-4 for a while and then increase again. Do I have to sit absolutely still? Not necessarily. You can practice while walking slowly, as long as you maintain the pattern where the inhalation is shorter than the exhalation. After only 5 to 7 days of regular practice, many people notice a calmer mind upon waking without excessive tension. Fewer urges to snack, better sleep. After 2 to 4 weeks, the waistline often feels softer, and clothes become less tight, even if the diet has not changed very much. Conclusion: a 5-strategy plan for people over 60. Here is a summary of 5 important levers that help reduce visceral fat safely. Protein at the right times. 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal, with special attention to breakfast. Helps preserve muscle and increase basal energy expenditure. Gentle temperature changes. A cool room in the evening for 1 to 2 hours. A shower that ends with 20 to 30 seconds of cool water and regular cool water intake. Wakes up brown fat, the body's natural fat-burning system. An 8 to 10 hour eating window. Eat during the day and avoid food at night. Do not eat close to bedtime. Allows the digestive system to rest, lowers insulin, and activates fat burning. Soluble fiber and prebiotics. Beans, oats, flaxseed, glucomannan. Along with garlic, onions, asparagus, bananas, and similar foods. Nourish beneficial bacteria, produce butyrate, reduce inflammation, and reduce visceral fat. Breathing to activate the vagus nerve. Practice in the morning and in the afternoon. Lowers cortisol, improves sleep, and reduces fat storage in the abdominal area. You do not need to apply all 5 strategies at once. You can choose 1 or 2 of the easiest to begin with. For example, this week, eat earlier and avoid food after 7 o'clock in the evening, combined with 5 minutes of abdominal breathing every morning. Next week, add 1 tablespoon of ground flaxseed to breakfast and gradually increase the amount of beans at dinner. At the ages of 60, 70, or 80, the body still has the ability to change if it receives the right signals and if those signals are repeated consistently. The important thing is not to do a lot for a few days, but to do what is manageable and to do it regularly. If you maintain these habits for 1 to 3 months, there is a very high likelihood that your waistline will become smaller, your clothes will feel more comfortable, blood sugar and blood pressure will stabilize, sleep will become deeper, and your mind will feel lighter. Those are the signs that visceral fat is gradually melting away, and your body is being better protected. I wish you continued good health, a lighter abdomen, and steady, confident steps in the years ahead.